Say your dog's name right now. Go ahead. Say it out loud. And watch what happens. Their head snaps toward you. Their ears go up. Their whole body shifts in your direction. Something behind their eyes changes in an instant. You've seen this 1,000 times. But have you ever stopped and wondered what is actually happening inside your dog's brain in that exact moment? Because scientists have. And what they found is extraordinary. Saying your dog's name doesn't just get their attention. It triggers a cascade of neurological events that is more complex, more emotional, and more deeply connected to you personally than anything you've imagined. Today, we're going inside the brain, all the way in. And by the time this video is over, you will never say your dog's name the same way again. Let's start at the very beginning. The moment sound leaves your mouth, your dog's auditory system is already working. Dogs can hear sounds in a frequency range nearly 3 times wider than ours. Their ears can rotate up to 180 degrees, independently of each other, to locate the exact source of a sound in a fraction of a second. But here's what makes this different from any other sound your dog hears. Your voice. Your dog has spent months, sometimes years, cataloging every acoustic detail of your voice. The pitch, the rhythm, the tiny variations that happen when you're happy, tired, angry, or excited. Your voice is not just a sound to your dog. It is a signature, a fingerprint, the most recognizable acoustic pattern in their entire world. And your dog's name, spoken in your voice, is the single most loaded sound combination they will ever hear. The moment it hits their ears, the brain begins. Now let's talk about what happens in the first tenth of a second. The sound travels from your dog's ears to the auditory cortex, the part of the brain that processes sound. This happens in milliseconds, faster than conscious thought. But what happens next is where it gets fascinating. In a study published in the journal Neuroimage, researchers used brain scanning technology on dogs while playing different sounds. When dogs heard human speech, especially speech from their owners, the left hemisphere of the brain showed significantly higher activity. The left hemisphere, the same side that processes language in humans. Your dog's brain has a dedicated system for processing human speech. Not just noise, not just commands. Human speech, your speech. And when they hear their name, that system fires up completely. The auditory cortex doesn't just log the sound and move on. It immediately begins cross-referencing. It checks the emotional memory banks. It pulls up every association that word has ever carried. And for your dog, their name carries everything. Think about what your dog's name has meant to them over the course of their life. Every time you called them in from the yard, every meal that followed their name being said, every walk announced with their name first, a history of every significant interaction they've ever had with you. When the auditory cortex fires, it doesn't just process a word. It activates a network. And that network reaches deep into the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. Let's talk about the limbic system, because this is where things get truly remarkable. The limbic system controls emotion, memory, and motivation. In dogs, it is proportionally large and extremely active. Dogs are deeply emotional creatures, and their limbic systems reflect that. When your dog's name hits the limbic system, several things happen almost simultaneously. First, the amygdala responds. The amygdala is the brain's emotional processing center, the part that decides whether something is safe, threatening, exciting, or significant. In most cases, when your dog hears their name in your voice, the amygdala registers. Known. Safe. Important. Pay attention. This is not a neutral response. This is an emotionally loaded recognition event. Second, the hippocampus activates. The hippocampus is responsible for memory retrieval. It begins pulling up associated memories, the specific experiences, smells, and emotions connected to that name and that voice. Your dog doesn't just hear their name. In some sense, they remember you. Third, the nucleus accumbens, the brain's reward center, starts to light up in anticipation. Because your dog has learned, through thousands of repetitions, that their name being called often precedes something good. Food, play, your attention, a walk, connection. Their brain begins releasing a small anticipatory signal of dopamine. Before you've said another word, before they even know why you called them, just their name, just your voice, and the reward system is already responding. Let's pause here for a moment, because I want you to understand what this means. Your dog is not just hearing a sound when you say their name. They are having an emotional experience, a real, neurologically measurable, emotionally significant experience. Every single time. And the quality of that experience depends almost entirely on what their brain has learned to associate with that name. This is where it gets personal. If your dog's name has almost always been followed by something positive, food, play, affection, going outside, their brain has built a strong, positive associative network around that word. Hearing their name feels good, neurologically, chemically, measurably good. But if their name has frequently been used in moments of frustration, punishment, or angry correction, the associative network looks very different. The amygdala still fires, but now it fires with a tinge of uncertainty, maybe anxiety, maybe a hesitation that lasts just a fraction of a second before they respond. You might not even notice that hesitation, but the brain scan would show it clearly. This is one of the most important things any dog owner can understand. Your dog's name is not neutral. It is loaded with history, and you are writing that history every single day. Now let's talk about something researchers discovered that most people find completely unexpected. Dogs process the emotional tone of your voice in a different part of their brain than the words themselves. In 2016, a landmark study from Yavuz University in Hungary used fMRI brain scanning, the same technology used on humans, to study dogs' brains while they listened to their trainers' voices. What they found changed the field of animal cognition. Dogs process the meaning of words in the left hemisphere, the analytical, language processing side, and they process the emotional tone, the warmth, the excitement, the affection in your voice in the right hemisphere. Both hemispheres have to agree for the full reward response to activate. Praise said in a flat, bored tone. The left hemisphere recognizes the positive word, but the right hemisphere doesn't get the emotional warmth signal. The reward response is incomplete. Praise said with genuine warmth and excitement. Both hemispheres fire together. The reward response is full, complete, and deeply felt. This means your dog knows when you mean it. They are not just listening to what you say. They are simultaneously analyzing how you say it. And they need both pieces to feel the full impact of your words. When you say your dog's name with warmth, with genuine love, both sides of their brain light up together. And they feel it. Not metaphorically, neurologically. Let's keep going, because we haven't talked about oxytocin yet. Oxytocin is sometimes called the bonding hormone. It's the chemical released between mothers and newborns, between close friends, between partners who trust each other deeply, and it is released in dogs when they interact with their owners. Multiple studies have shown that when dogs and their owners make eye contact, both the dog and the human experience a rise in oxytocin levels. It is a mutual bonding response. Literally the same chemistry that holds human relationships together, happening between a person and their dog. Now here's what's relevant to our story. Your dog's name, said in your voice, with warmth, is one of the most reliable triggers for this response. It is not just the word. It is the signal that you are present, attentive, and directing your energy specifically at them. That signal initiates eye contact. Eye contact triggers the oxytocin loop. The oxytocin loop deepens the bond. And here's the part that still astonishes researchers. This loop works in both directions. Your oxytocin rises too, just by calling your dog's name and having them look at you. Both of your brains are releasing the same bonding chemistry at the same time. You are not just the one giving attention. You are also the one receiving it. The relationship goes both ways, deeper than most people ever stop to realize. Every time you say their name with intention, you are chemically reinforcing your relationship with your dog. You are not just communicating. You are bonding, at a neurological level, whether you realize it or not. Now let's talk about something that will probably surprise you. Your dog knows their name sounds different depending on who says it. Have you ever noticed how your dog reacts when a total stranger calls their name? Maybe with a slight glance. Maybe barely at all. But when you say it, even softly, even from another room, they come running immediately. That gap in reaction isn't about training. It's about recognition. Deep, neurological, history-loaded recognition. That same system also catalogs the voices of everyone your dog regularly interacts with. Your dog doesn't just have one name association. They have multiple, one for each voice they recognize. Your name said by you carries the full weight of your entire shared history together. Your dog's name said by a stranger? The auditory cortex processes the word, but the emotional network barely activates. There is no history there, no associative memory, no oxytocin trigger. This is why your dog might barely glance at a stranger who calls their name, but immediately lock onto you from across a crowded room when you say it barely above a whisper. It's not the word. It's the voice behind the word. And it's the entire history that voice represents. Let's talk about what happens in the body after the brain fires. The neurological cascade we've been describing: auditory cortex, limbic system, reward center, oxytocin. All of this happens in roughly the first half second after they hear their name. What you see is the physical response. The ears snap, the head turn, the sudden body orientation toward you. Is the body catching up to what the brain already decided? The pupils dilate slightly, allowing more light in. The ears rotate to maximum sensitivity position. The muscles along the spine and neck engage. The heart rate rises slightly. Every system in your dog's body is now pointed at you. And they are waiting for the next signal, waiting to understand why you called them, ready to act, ready to respond, completely devoted, in this moment, to whatever you do next. This is not an accident. This is the result of tens of thousands of years of coevolution between dogs and humans. Dogs that were most responsive to their owners' voices survived. Dogs that bonded most deeply with humans thrived. Over generations, across millennia, the dog brain became exquisitely tuned to human communication. And the human brain changed too. We became better at reading dogs, better at understanding their signals, better at forming bonds with them. The relationship reshaped both species simultaneously. Researchers call this coevolution, the idea that two species can influence each other's biology across generations through the simple act of living together. Dogs didn't just adapt to humans. Humans adapted to dogs. And the moment your dog snaps their head toward you when you say their name, that moment is the living proof of it. What you are witnessing is not a trained behavior. It is evolution. It is the culmination of an ancient relationship, a partnership so deep it rewired both species. Now let's end with something practical, something you can do differently starting tonight. Because now that you understand what's happening in your dog's brain when you say their name, a few things become very clear. First, protect the name. Every time you say your dog's name and nothing happens, no response, no follow-through, no meaningful interaction, you are slightly eroding the associative power of that word. Use it with intention. Use it when you're genuinely engaging with them. Second, never use their name in a negative context if you can avoid it. If you need to correct your dog, correct the behavior, not the dog by name. Calling their name in anger or frustration adds a shadow to the emotional network around that word. Third, when you say their name and they look at you, make it worth it. Even if it's just 10 seconds of genuine eye contact and a calm, warm word. Their reward system just activated. Honor that with a real response. And fourth, say it like you mean it. Both hemispheres need to agree, remember? The word and the warmth together. Not a routine sound. A genuine call to connection. Your dog's name, in your voice, with your love behind it, is the most powerful word in their world. It always has been. Now you know why. If this changed something for you, if you're going to say your dog's name a little differently tonight, drop a comment and tell me. I want to know. And if you want to keep going deeper into the science of what your dog actually experiences, subscribe. We are just getting started. Go say their name and mean it.